I don't really think about, I just close my eyes and click buy when it comes to the flights.
If I could take this apartment and plop it somewhere not in Germany, I would totally do that.
I'm like poor. Well, I'm not poor. I have like plenty of money saved up and things like that. But
we could make like most of our money in 3 months, and then like the next 3 months we might not have anything. But we got made 6 months in 3 months.
It's a good question. I don't know. I'll have to look into that.
Steve Webb, I'm 43.
I'm Oliver. I'm from Estonia.
Hi, my name is Amy Sudo.
I'm Kyle Cords.
I am Pia from Germany.
Well, my name is Olivia Mercado. I'm from Bolivia.
Hi, my name is Laura Gaida.
My name's Dave Roma. I'm 40 years old and originally from New York.
How do you make money to sustain this lifestyle?
I freelance. I started out as a virtual assistant, content writer, copywriter, and moved into translating as well. And now I'm moving into like the AI optimization, AI workflow optimization space, I guess. It's very new, so we'll see.
So we're entrepreneurs, so we run businesses together. We have a memoir ghostwriting business, so we ghostwrite memoirs and edit books for entrepreneurs and other cool, inspiring people. And then Kyle and I are also building a tech app, and I'm helping with the marketing of that. And Kyle's been building that for the last few years, and it's super cool. It's really neat.
Almost there.
Yeah.
But we've had other businesses also. We've like thrown a lot of spaghetti at the wall, and I think like, you know, Amy really loves books, and sometimes I can help her just with like organization and other stuff. But beyond that, I feel like that we are kind of moving more towards a product life. And so I've always like wanted to build a tech app. And so it's been kind of like, for the past 2 years, it's been just like my education of like learning to code more, working with other coders, and trying to just like have the things in my head become reality. And like, you know, with AI and everything available, I feel like education's so much quicker, figuring things out is so much quicker, and like solving problems is getting easier, which is amazing. So yeah, so that's what we're up to.
I do miracles, is what I jokingly say, and people are like, wait, what? Who are you? Like, I do shadow work, and so this is holistic therapies, and it has a lot to do with mindfulness and the different disciplines that I've been learning throughout the years. So to put it in short, I help people live their best lives through practical tools for our modern day life.
As of right now, I'm working on a digital product that I created. So I'm a full stack web developer and a marketer. It started off as a side project, and over the last like year and a half, 2 years, it's kind of started taking off. And so now I just work on that basically full time.
OnlyFans. No, I work in tech, so I work more on the infrastructure side, like cloud engineering, data engineering, things like that. I've been doing that for I think 10 years now, something like that. I started working remotely like 2 years ago in one company, and then been doing that ever since. Before that, I was just working in offices in Estonia, but in the last 3 years, I've been just working remotely.
I'm a registered dietitian, so I have my own practice. I see clients one-on-one. I also see other dietitians one-on-one too, so I kind of help them with like a coaching style, because I work primarily in mental health and I work primarily with eating disorders, and that can be something that can be really tricky for a lot of dietitians. We don't get a lot of practice in working within the realm of eating disorders or within mental health.
My actual answer right now is I just magically receive checks in my bank account every month, because I did a lot of work once upon a time and sold some companies, and now I just get money just out of the sky basically, which I highly recommend. I don't recommend the like back-breaking work that's required to sell a company, but I do recommend the after effects where you're just like getting money and it's like, yay. It's like Christmas every month.
How much does it cost you monthly to live this lifestyle?
It's a good question. I don't know. I'll have to look into that.
You have no idea? Any ballpark?
It depends on where you live.
Sure.
Because like when I was like, you can live in Bali for like $2,000 a month all in, with your apartment and your moped and gas and food for like $2K a month. Mm-hmm. If you're living in a place like New York, that number might go up to $6,000, $7,000 a month. My business is pretty cheap to run because it's just me and the software that I pay for. It really has a lot to do with the location that you're in.
It's interesting because I've done 2 different companies at this point too, and they vary a little bit in price. So I would say one was around like probably like 1,800 per month to like kind of like with housing, food, and like just like some basic expenses stuff, right? Like we all need shampoo. Oh.
So I would say maybe like 2,000, 3,000 euros, depending. It depends on like if you want to do lots of things. I usually do a lot of things like excursions or weekend trips and things like that, and it can kind of add up. But if you want, you can, I think, manage with like 1,500 euros, dollars. I think that's pretty feasible.
Definitely.
But it depends where you are. Like if you're in Argentina, then you can live here very comfortable. In, let's say, Buenos Aires, you have like a really good lifestyle. And you don't spend that much money compared to like if you're in the US or somewhere like Switzerland or whichever like high cost living country. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the whole like the nomad journey, right? So you go to like a more like a low cost country, and then you try to get your business or trying to get your business working, right? So you can just like live there, and you don't maybe make as much as your corporate job, but you can have like a very comfortable life there, like go to the beach or go to the mountains for hiking and things like that, right?
Definitely.
I mean, it really depends on location, obviously, but it also depends on if you're going totally solo or if you're with a group, because that goes both ways, right? So like with a group, like what we're doing in Wi-Fi Tribe, it tends to be a little bit more expensive on the accommodation side just because it's more of a premium type experience, and not everybody wants to just rough it like I would probably do on my own. And so that tends to be a little bit more expensive, but then on the flip side, it tends to be less expensive because you are sharing a lot of expenses with the group. And so it's kind of a give and take. I think there are some things that are going to be less expensive. Some things are going to be more. But as far as like the average, I personally feel like I'm spending probably around like $4,000 a month, probably in that. I mean, way less if we're like Southeast Asia. I don't remember how much I actually paid for accommodation, but I'm pretty sure I will end up being somewhere around 4,000-ish once it's all said and done.
And that's with accommodation,
And
flights to get around, food.
I don't think I'm factoring in the flights, unfortunately. So it probably is a little bit more with the flights because I don't really think about. I just close my eyes and click buy when it comes to the flights. But the flights, yeah. So
Yeah, I think it also
that's-
depends how.
Yeah, and also what time of year and like if you have points and all of that stuff, which is the other thing. I think the hardcore nomads are also hardcore point players, and if you play that game, then flights really aren't a big deal, and then you really just have to worry about accommodation, although I'm sure you can play the game with the accommodations too. I personally still love the whole like hostel and much lower level accommodations, but I'm sure some people are much fancier than I am and look for 4-star, 5-star, whatever. I mean, obviously in Europe it's going to go up. Southeast Asia it's going to go way down. Like Vietnam, I think I'll probably be able to get away with probably 2,000, maybe 3,000 tops. And so, I mean, if you wanted to just really stretch that dollar, I think you could easily get away with Southeast Asia for like less than $40,000 a year, probably.
Oh yeah, easily.
I mean, maybe 30, yeah,
Yeah.
or less. I don't know.
Well, so here's the thing, it fluctuates depending on where I'm based in. For example, if I compare now Buenos Aires to my city, Santa Cruz is more expensive now. So I would say on average anywhere between 2,000 to 3,000 USD for housing and food and going out and having fun, and like truly I feel very abundant. I'm not a millionaire, but I feel like I live a millionaire lifestyle.
Well, I just did a whole breakdown on my YouTube channel, shameless plug.
Yeah, she did.
About how much we spent last year, breaking down every month for just flights and accommodations. And just like what I think is crazy is that just the average cost of a 1-bedroom apartment in Los Angeles is $30,000 annually. And that's pretty low. We know most of our friends are paying way more than that. And especially if you live alone, like to get a nice place in an area that you want to be in, it's like you're spending like 30, 40, sometimes $50K on an apartment. for my half of travel costs for last year, and we are not budget travelers. We stayed in some really nice places. We went to Disneyland for an entire week and stayed in a resort. We had some moments last year of like really nice places. I spent around $25,000 on flights and accommodations, and that includes first class flights, all of our Wi-Fi tribe chapters, really like nice like resort time and like vacation moments. So it's like that is way cheaper than what I was spending in LA on a place to live, a car insurance, car maintenance, utilities, internet, Wi-Fi, and we have so much more time here. And like we stayed in this like really cool like 1 bedroom like lakeside condo in Bariloche for like super affordably. We stayed in New York for like a month and a half, like in Manhattan last year. Like we definitely were like not traveling budget friendly last year, but we spent much less than we would have spent if we were living full time in a major city. So I think that when people think digital nomads are like either spending a ton of money or are backpackers living in hostels, like there's some in between for remote professionals who are like still spending a good amount of money that they would have spent on rent, but being able to see the world and being beautiful places.
Absolutely. I mean, 25,000 is what, less than just my rent was back in Seattle.
Yeah.
So do you spend about the same, Kyle?
Yeah, we pretty much split most costs. I think that's the other perk of having like a partner that you travel with, is that you can like sleep in one bed. And so like, you know, so immediately if you like wherever you're traveling, if you had a partner, you could just like divide all your stuff in half. Like it's pretty nice, especially when we go out to eat. We pretty much split whatever we're going to eat because they usually give enough food for us to just split. And so yeah, so I think it's like really useful is that we kind of have like the partner subsidy wherever we go. Because also I think it comes down to like decision making also, where it's like Amy would be like, oh, I found like these great flights and I think this is how we should get to Buenos Aires. And I'm like, okay, cool, like just book it. As opposed to like if we're both having to separately decide every step, we can kind of lean on each other based on our decision making for travel planning. And so that's also something that's huge because like as much as you can sort of group decision making, then it allows you to make decisions elsewhere. So by us being together, it's like usually cheaper, easier, and less brain power.
Sure.
And so yeah, highly recommend it. And then having a business together is also a whole nother like level because we talk about business a lot at dinner, and so that's a business expense, and
There you go.
so we try to figure it out.
Yeah.
That very much depends on the location and how far I'm traveling to get to that location. Southeast Asia, generally, super cheap country, even for accommodation. Now here, Cape Town, where we're right now, generally very cheap, but accommodation is quite expensive. The same goes for Japan, where I was last year. And then getting to those places. The cool thing is, obviously, that I can pick and choose the days that I want to travel on, so I can choose the cheapest options for flights. A lot of the times, not always, but a lot of the times. I mean, if you go by accommodation and flights, honestly, I don't know. It's also like when I go home, I'm not paying rent. I stay with friends quite a bit as well, and I'm not paying rent. It really varies. And I have months where I will consciously choose to stay in cheaper places just to build my budget back up, basically. And I know, hey, I have 2 months here that I don't have any super specific plans for. Let me go home for 1 month, and then let me go to a cheap place for 1 month. Yeah, and then I have, more budget built up again for coming here, for example, and doing all of the activities.
Definitely.
And for the first year or so that I did it, I was staying in the cheaper places for sure. I was a lot in Southeast Asia. Came here for quite a bit as well, which at the time in 2019 when I was here, even rent prices were a lot cheaper here. It's just gone up quite a bit. Yeah, so there's a lot of versatility, but also independence in where you choose to travel to. And it does help that I don't have a home base where I'm paying rent every month as well. During COVID, I had a place again in Germany. I was renting a little apartment that I loved it. If I could take this apartment and plop it somewhere not in Germany, I would totally do that. And I did, after COVID ended, I did play with the idea of, do I want to keep it? But it was just, yeah, the travel, the great outdoors called me way more than staying in this place, and I couldn't afford both. So yeah.
Absolutely. If you don't mind sharing, how much do you make per month?
The number is going to be different. So right now it's higher because I'm still getting paid off on this company. I want to say it's probably in the low like 200s, which is a high number probably for most nomads at this point. But again, it's primarily because I'm getting paid off for one of these companies I sold. And so it's significantly more than what my burn rate is.
Low 200s.
Yeah. Oh, wait, did you say per month or per year?
month.
Oh, sorry. Fuck. Yeah.
Oh, that's per year. I was like,
Yeah, my bad. I'm not making 200 grand a month. What is, whatever that factors to be, what, 20-ish? 20? No, it's going to go down. It's somewhere in the, somewhere between 15 and 20 a month probably is where I'm at.
Cool.
Which, for all of you that can do math at home, which obviously I can't, it's a multiple of what my burn rate is. So I'm still making money while I'm out here gallivanting.
So before I quit my job, I was making like 10,000 euros per month. But now like it's way less. I'm like poor. Well, I'm not poor. I have like plenty of money saved up and things like that. But it's like the income was pretty good before, and now it's like I'm just trying to focus on building other income streams, like other like businesses. So not doing like a day-to-day job, but more like having like some passive incomes for that.
Yeah, so we make about like mid six figures, and I think it's just varies completely based on like how our businesses are doing, how much we're investing in stuff, and every year is a different amount as well, because some years we're going all in on like business stuff, and so every year it just kind of varies pretty widely with like what we're investing in or earning. And as freelancers and business owners, it like varies pretty wildly every month. But the nice thing about being business owners is a lot of stuff that you're doing can be write-offs, and that helps a ton with taxes. And that's something that they don't tell you if you're a W-2 employee, is like how much you're missing out on being able to like write off camera gear if you're using that for a core part of your business or things like that.
Yeah, definitely having a business, your life is pretty subsidized. Especially like you should be creating value, and all, not tax advice, but it's just just what we've done.
Not tax advice.
Yeah, I don't know. It's also interesting kind of being a freelancer, not having kind of like a weekly sort of like salary, because like we could make like most of our money in 3 months, and then like the next 3 months we might not have anything, but we got made 6 months in 3 months. So it's like it's always like super hard to kind of like figure out, like when we were trying to do monthly budgets for like, you know, like have P&L statements essentially for ourselves in our life, it was always like, you know, we bought way more. We bought like 6 months of travel in that month. So it's like we could put like $15,000 on a credit card in 1 month, but then we don't spend anything on the next 2 months. And so then, or 3 months. And so it kind of like balances out where it could be like 15,000, but it's like 1.15, 2, like, and so it kind of like, it's almost like we can only really budget our life based on a yearly or annual, based off the fact that like there's a freelance side of our business, there's like a sort of productized side of our business, and all of that is just like constantly fluctuating, but it usually evens out pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So per month is a tricky one. I want to say on average, I need to do this math in my head, good Lord. On average, about 5,000 euros. Doing the math. Yeah, that sounds about right. And it's like I think I said earlier, you know, some months it's more, some months it's less, so it's a bit tricky. But on average, it's around 5K per month. And I know I could go higher if I worked more. But there's this pesky work-life balance thing that I'm trying to achieve. So no, for now it's sufficient. Yeah.
Well, enough to live this lifestyle. Yeah. So it fluctuates as well, because there are months where I have like 3 clients come in all at once, and there are months where I have no clients. And my program lasts 4 months. So even if a client pays me upfront for the whole program, I still have to make it so that it's the 4 months, right? So, and I've learned to trust the universe, and it's so magical. Truly, I can tell you that I have never not had clients, and that's a beautiful way of putting it. Like, it's just the flow of abundance is always happening. So yeah, what I can say is now, with what I do, I have more savings, including all the lifestyle and all the expenses and all the travels and all the luxuries that I have, because I think it's luxurious to have a massage on a Tuesday at 3 p.m. and it's like, beautiful, or go get my nails done, or like whatever. And yeah, so it's beautiful. It's just flowing.
If you don't mind sharing, how much do you make per month?
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want that being out there.